say, geez, I thought I was going to spend more time with what I love to do, which is WWE. He's only been coming in and out, so he's not really a part of our storyline. So you lose John, you lose Roman Reigns. In addition to that, we've had injuries. Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, who's one of our top female performers, was injured. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Bray Wyatt, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Braun Strowman, Dean Ambrose, Ember Moon, Samoa Joe, Occam from a new tag team, Jason Jordan, Fandango, Big Show, Seth Rollins. It's like you had all these injuries, which is really unusual for us, and they're characters. It's no different than if you were writing a soap opera and all of a sudden your main character wasn't there. You're in the middle of production. What do? Well, you very nimbly change, the storyline, but it's not as good as the original one. Sometimes it's better because we're pretty good at it. But those are the things that we're faced with, and one of the reasons why television ratings have dropped. And one of the reasons, obviously, from a live event standpoint, that's dropped too, because if you don't have your favorites on television, obviously you can't see them at a live event either. So we're wide open. Rhonda's done an extraordinary job. There'll be other individuals coming from different areas that will join us on a long-term basis that will help us as well. Hope that answers.
And that answers my third question too.
What? What? First of all, Bray Wyatt, he might have been injured, but you haven't used him on television in months. And I'm sure he's fine now. Talents like Ember Moon, Jason Jordan, I'm sure he's better, or if not close to it. But Ember Moon's not being used. Now she's currently injured, but you barely used her. And obviously a lot of those injuries happen over the course of the last several months, like 18 months. But it's not strictly because, and honestly, what I have to say has nothing compared to what I'm sure Sal and Mark have to say. But there is a lot more to it why your ratings are tanking than these injuries. Yeah, John Cena is pretty much retired from pro wrestling. Now he's going on to other adventures. He is now, he's in the Bumblebee movie. He's doing a bunch of movies. He's hosting, he just got announced that he was hosting something today. Like a show or something. Oh man, what the hell was it? It's a show that's coming back too. Anyway, but he's doing a lot of projects that are not WWE related. And he's doing The Rock's path, which people killed The Rock for it back in the day. But, and Cena did too, but now he's realizing, oh, well, there is a life outside of WWE. I really should consider it. And now he's considering it, and he's doing well. He's doing the pistachio commercials. He's the voice of the elephant character. He's doing a bunch of stuff. The hefty commercials, everything. He's doing everything. He's busy, and it's good for him. And yes, he also did just recently get injured, an ankle injury, which is also a reason why he missed the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. But Roman's got leukemia. Cena's doing his other projects. You spent all this time building those two up to be, a larger-than-life characters, barely concentrating on anybody else. You're not allowing other people the opportunity of grabbing that brass ring. You have Daniel Bryan as the WWE champion, which is awesome, but you also have Brock Lesnar as Universal champion. Roman winning the Universal title just to drop it not too long after due to his condition was unfortunate. But obviously nobody had a plan B of like, oh, we can go to this person. You had to immediately go back to Brock, which was BS. But you can't blame everything on injuries. You guys are losing ratings because You're insulting the fans' intelligence. Now, I'm going to preface this in saying, yes, I'm still going to watch because I've been a WWE fan, which then in turn, a pro wrestling fan since I was 2 years old. So I'll always watch. But with that said, like in that conference call, I felt like my intelligence was insulted. How the I don't get it. That's all you blame it on. I mean, again, a lot of the big names that people don't want to, what I mean, if a guy or girl is injured, yeah, it's gonna be disappointing that you won't see them at the live event, but sometimes these live event injuries happen after tickets are sold for a certain event. Like if something happens on Raw on Monday, somebody who wants to go see you on a Thursday house show, they already bought those tickets months ago, assuming that, they're still there. You still have their money. But you're not giving them anything special. Whereas, and you're going into these arenas where they're for Raws, SmackDowns, anything. You should be going to smaller arenas like NXT's doing for their house shows. It won't look so damn empty. Which is sad, because I remember back in the Attitude Era, again, different time. But the whole arena was full for house shows. And I remember going to a house show at Izod Center, 2002. It was right before the first draft. Before they first split the brands. And I think the headliner of that show was Hall, Nash, and X-Pac versus three people. I can't remember. I just remember I remember Hogan, the NWO being on the one side. Then I saw Taker. I saw a bunch of different people. But you could go to if you're going to a house show during, let's say, WrestleMania 17 season. You have Benoit, Angle, Eddie Guerrero, Edge and Christian, the Dudleys, the Hardys, Austin, Rock, Triple H. You have a whole slew of Big Show, Kane when he was hot too. I mean, all these characters were hot. Where on Raw, your hot characters are Balor, Strowman, Rollins, Ambrose, which he's on his way out, Brock, who never goes to anything anymore, and who else? Ronda Rousey, and now I guess Becky and Charlotte. I don't know what you're doing because now you're killing the brand split again by having the women's main event being on both shows. What about the men's main event being on both shows, huh? Whew. Anyway. There aren't enough, in my opinion, and I'm comparing different, eras, but you look at cards from the from the early 1990s, the 80s, the Attitude Era. I mean, everything was so different compared to now. I understood in the Ruthless Aggression era where you had SmackDown where it was like Kenzo Suzuki and Rene Dupree defending the WWE Tag Team Championships against Los Guerreros. Yeah, you have the Guerreros, but, I mean, you're only seeing the Guerreros. You don't really care for Suzuki and Dupree. I mean, there was a time where, I legitimately understood attendance being down. I still understand attendance being down for live shows, kind of. But, at the same time, the shows, I mean, SmackDown's been good. And that should be getting more ratings than it is. But Raw has just been practically insulting to everybody. Unreal. No reason for it. and there needs to be a change with it. Desperately. And until Triple H takes over, I don't think anything's going to change. In the meantime, Vince can continue to blame injuries and blame this and blame Cena's absence because he's trying to make a life for himself outside of pro wrestling and, you know, for the struggles. I get it that, you know, there are certain people absent, but, you know, you could still have stars. When Austin was injured, you still had stars that people gravitated towards. The Rock, Triple H, Mankind, Big Show, Kane, Undertaker. You had a whole slew of talents that could be that next person that would take Austin's place. Now you have nothing. Roman's down. Brock never shows up. Rollins is injured, so you're really not going to see a lot of him, which is a momentum killer beyond belief. I mean, I don't know if he was on Raw or not. I didn't watch, for full disclosure. I'm pretty sure he was, but you're not going to have him wrestle, which, again, I understand that too, because you're trying to preserve one of your WrestleMania main events. But then who else is there? You're not really building a tag division. You're starting to, but there's really not enough substance to it. Your Intercontinental Champion's Bobby Lashley, which you really haven't done a whole lot for, and fans can't seem to get behind it, which I gotta be honest, I'm a huge fan of this heel Lashley with Leo Rush. Now that we've gotten past show your glutes and him constantly talking over in the matches, like, I like that partnership. I like the heel Bobby Lashley. I don't care what anybody says. This is just the stuff that you should have been doing months ago when he first came back. I don't want to say necessarily having, Leo Rush with him the entire time, but, Lashley had a great run in TNA as their world champion, as one of the bigger heels of the company, as the heel of the company. It was great. And now you're allowing him to do a little bit of that, but I think it was too little too late. People are already turned off by it. So, unlike NXT and Triple H, who seems to know what to do with their talents, Vince McMahon has no clue. Nobody has the balls to say to Vince McMahon, hey dude, your time's up. I know you created WrestleMania and pretty much created pro wrestling the way it is right now through buying out all the territories and creating international territory with your one company and everything else of the sort, right? But it's like a pro athlete. Baseball. You can't hang on to an athlete because of what he or she was. You gotta think of the future. And if you love the WWE as much as you claim that you do, and that you care this much about the WWE, and you're not, I think he's really more or less spending all of his time with the XFL, or most of his time with that at the moment. Go be with the XFL, handle the business side that way, and allow Triple H to do what he's done for NXT for WWE. Because if Triple H moves up, gets called up, hey, Triple H, you're getting called up to the main guy of the WWE now. If he's getting called up, you have plenty of and Triple H is going to be down there anyway because that's his baby. And he's going to have his finger on the pulse there. Like, he's got that, he seems to have that knack for knowing what's going on at all times, because he was one of the boys. He knows the business side. Vince always knows the side of the promoter. And obviously you've heard stories from back in the day with AWA and all the other territories that the guys have seemed to have lost touch, or, trying to compete or whatever. Vince McMahon's not even trying to compete. He's just completely out of touch. The moment that Triple H takes over WWE, and because there's shareholders and everything, with WWE being a publicly traded company, there's going to be, there's going to have to be a conference call or a stockholders call that basically says, hey, Vince McMahon